Hunters, I regret to inform you that my card counter is no longer 0. And that premature for Pidgey hunts. Welcome back, classy crew, to another Monster Hunter Journal, where I go through Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, documenting my entire journey as I try to hunt all 51 monsters. And this week, I have slain a total of 5 monsters. I've been busy chopping up these monsters, and there's a lot of good stuff to talk about. So, going into my first fight this time was Lagombi, the bunny. And once again, just like last week when I was talking about the Great Banana, because I don't remember, the Royal Ludroth, once again, the Lagombi in Rise was so anticlimactic and left so little impression other than, oh cool, it's a bunny that slides. But in this one, he seemed a little bit bigger and he just felt more of a fun challenge. He felt, specifically in 3U, he felt like a combination of an Arzuros and a Barioth. I just want to make sure, are we talking about the one with the eye or is it a Baroth? It might be a Baroth. The Train of Pain, that one. Because you get the bunny that launches himself at you, but then the rest of it, he's kind of slow and swipey like an Arzuros. So fantastic fight. I had a lot of fun playing around with this bunny because I feel that I already knew kind of how it moved. And so it was just a matter of like slash to the side, always stay on the side, move completely out of the way when he slides towards you, and he usually like shoots 2 to 3 times. And it was just a nice little dance, very comfortable, very like early monster. And I think I killed it in like 10 minutes or something. It was just a very nice, fun fight. And I just really enjoyed seeing his model felt bigger. And that's a complaint I've been saying about Rise from the very beginning, that all the monsters felt smaller in that. And I think it's because the camera, people say the camera is more zoomed out for the whole wire bugging thing. So I really did appreciate fighting a Lagombi that just felt a little bit chunkier. Next up, we had another monster that I first met in Rise, which was the Great Baggi. At this point, I really wasn't concerned about him. I killed the Great Jaggi. I learned how to fight him. And then we got the Great Roggi, I think, which went down super fast. So I'm like, what's a Great Baggi? It's another raptor, but he makes you sleep. And so I pretty much went to town on him. He was quite easy. I think one of his little sidekicks put me to sleep once, where I like just started like going slow. I was like, oh no, what's going on? What's happening? And I was like, oh. So he died in like another 5 minutes. The raptors at this point, I feel like I've got them pretty much locked in how to kill them. And then the first the first cart happened. So I fought the Lagiacrus, which was the Repel quest. And I have to say, this was the monster that made this game feel like Monster Hunter. It was a big monster. It was intimidating. I was getting like tossed around and I was like, this is the Monster Hunter, like a big chunky monster that I can just pound on and that pounds back. So I carted, and I'm going to say it's because I did not know what his moveset was. So he had this one that like curls himself in very much, and like that one I didn't know about. He like curls himself and then like tail slaps you. He really moves fast on land. Like he can clear a lot of distance on land. And his neck move, or like I think it's his neck. It does like something like this. It really reminded me of Fatalis, but like if it was shorter. So it's like a baby Fatalis move. And he just kind of chomped away at me. But otherwise it was, step aside and just slash away at him, which felt fantastic. And outside of the one cart, repelling felt good, and it felt good chasing him like towards the sea. Just like every time you'd fight him, he'd run away and then eventually jump into the sea. So that was fun. I was like, I want to keep fighting him, which the game is also built to make you feel that way, because even the guild quest girl is all like, oh, you really want to kill him, eh? Well, you're gonna get your chance. And it's all like acknowledging that feeling that, yes, I fought him and I want to kill him. I want to keep going. Before I get into the next 3 monsters on the list, I want to talk about a few side things that I learned. So I got Cha-Cha's first optional mask, which is the Fluffy mask. And I saw the text first, and I was like, oh, this is cool, a fluffy mask. I wonder how beautiful it's going to be, or how cute. And he puts it on, and it looks like it's a peeled human head with fake bunny ears. It is stuff of nightmares with like beads poked into it. It literally looks like it's a peeled potato that was left out in the sun too long. How is this a fluffy mask? It looks like a mask of nightmares. I actually read what it does, and it's mostly to help you. I don't remember what it was, but it doesn't help you in fights. It helps you do something else. So that's staying on the wall. I'm a little bit sad that it stays on the wall so close to my bed. So now as a hunter, I have to sleep in a bed with that freaky mask not too far from me staring at me. But really looking forward to seeing, because I didn't even realize that was a mask rack until I got that. So I'm like, oh, I got all these other masks to find. So can't wait to do that. I learned about my crafting lists. So this was a tip someone gave me last week in the comments. They said when you see the white question marks, craft it to fill up your crafting list book. So I've been doing that, and I unlocked like how to do traps and all sorts of things. I really enjoy like completing things like that. So just opening up a bunch of things in my crafting book was fun. And I went out to Port Tanzia because I need a might seed to build a certain sword, I think, or maybe it's an armor piece. Oh no, it's the jewel. I need the jewel to get another attack +1, so I have attack +2. And I don't have one of those, a might seed. So they said, go to Port Tanzia. I met an old lady with a massive bag, and she like apparently sells different things every day. Unfortunately, she didn't have a might seed, but I got to discover the port, which I assume will become the multiplayer hub, which I will be playing in. And by the way, multiplayer is coming up soon. I do expect, if it's not this week, it's going to be next week. So I am getting ready to do some grinding in multiplayer and get to experience the 3U multiplayer. So that's finally happening. I will be announcing it, not in a video, in a community post in my Discord, on YouTube, the community post on YouTube, and Twitter as well. So look out for announcements there on how to join multiplayer. So that's all the side stuff. So back to the monsters. Finally, I got to get a quest. So I had the choice between a Gigginox and a Rathian, and everybody was like, go for Gigginox. But I'm like, but my queen, I need to go on a date with my queen. So I went for Gigginox, and everyone's like, this is better than it's the better version of Kezu. I was like, well, Kezu's not that bad, but I've also learned how to fight Kezu. And the first time I met Kezu, he carted me. I think it was my first cart in Rise. And I had a sharpness problem with my first encounter with Kezu, so it made it less appealing. When I went back to my switch axe, we were fine. So Gigginox, I was like, all right. I was really curious to see how this could be better than Kezu. Unfortunately, I did not know Gigginox poisons, and so I only had 3 antidotes. I came underprepared with antidotes, which potentially soured my experience because I hate Gigginox. I'm just going to say it right now. That fight was terrible. I hated it, and I did not understand why people love Gigginox so much. Now, I will be fair to you all that I was sorely underprepared, and so I probably got a very bad experience, and I will fight it again to see if I can appreciate it more when I go back fully prepared. So I went through all my antidotes, all my potions, and this thing, I didn't know how to move, so it was just slapping me around everywhere, laying its gross eggs. It has a mouth on both ends, and it just looks like I'm gonna say it, it's not nice, but it looks like a massive butthole with teeth coming at you. It's just disgusting. It's just like, you've seen it, you know what it looks like, it's gross. And so I want to kill it fast because I didn't want to look at it. Like if I could be like Kezu and not have eyes so I could kill it faster like that, like I'd be okay. But anyways, it was poisoning me. It had this stupid long neck thing, and it always went to the left. So people were like, stay to the right of it. And good advice, but it also has a move that when you stick to the right of it, it flips itself so that you're back on the left. And I was like, oh, but also I was like, designers, good job. Like that is really good to make the monster be self-aware of its weak point and not let you take advantage of it. But then I was like, oh, how do I kill this thing? And then you pound it enough and it gets hard, and then it gets all black and angry. And I'm just, it was bad. It was bad. And then it got worse when I learned that it could suck you too. So I went inside a Gigginox, which was not in my plans for that night. He like kicked me and he was in the air, like he was on the ceiling, he or she, I don't know. And then it just plopped on me and just like, and it was not a pleasant experience. So anyways, somehow I managed, so I was out of potions and everything. So I had to keep running back to, I had to avoid being poisoned, which got easier once I learned what the moves were. But I was out of antidotes, out of potions, out of mega potions, and I had to run back to bed every time. And I was like, I'm going to fail this quest. But then it was limping. So I'm like, oh, I just got to bring it to the end and just finish it. I got through it. I got one cart and just did not like it. I was getting tossed around way too much. So stupid Gigginox, did not like. But luckily, right after that, I got to have a Rathian, which was like a nice smooth massage after that disgusting Gigginox. Rathian looked so much better in this game. So even in World and in Rise, I think they redesigned her to be a little bit darker. And I always wondered why in Stories 2 she was so green. And I see that Stories 2 and the 3U design are very similar. Like I can actually see the full pattern on her wings. She's a lot more green, a lot more, it just felt like there was more contrast between her and the rest of the environment, which made her just stand out more. I was like, oh man, my queen, I'm so happy to see you again. And it was just like, it's the same move set. She does the stupid chicken walk that I hate, where she just runs back and forth, and you're just getting tossed around. God, I hate that. But otherwise, it was just a nice, fun fight where I'm like, oh, she's doing the backflip. Okay, move here. And I got one cart from her because I was trying to run away. I took a potion. Stupid dude flexes, and then I get shot. I think maybe it was an antidote because I got shot by her fireball. I think she was in rage, and I'm just here flexing in front of her, and she's like, get out of here, simp. And I just like one-shots me with a fireball. It was very poetic. I don't think she liked the date, because then I killed her and carved her up. But Rathian is still just as good in 3U. And if anything, she looks better. I just think this is her best design so far. And finally, we got to have our rematch with the Lagiacrus. So the fight that I was actually kind of dreading, because yes, he was really fun on land, but now I was going into his home territory of water, and I was like, oh boy, how bad is this going to be? It was pretty bad because I had troubles getting enough hits on him to charge up my sword and make it all glowy. So that was my biggest struggle. I was playing it safe, so I was always looking for an opening. It was just a really slow fight. When it went back on land for like one moment, oh man, that felt great. I was like on there, I chopped off its tail, I was doing some damage. We got the sword to glow up, I think to like yellow. I was just bashing on it, and then it goes back in the water, and everything just came back down to a crawl. So again, the water segments, I'm not fluid enough yet to make it good, especially with a longsword. I just don't know how to get enough hits without being hit. But overall, Lagiacrus was not as bad as I thought. I did not cart on this one because I had now understood a little bit more how it moves. Was keeping my distance. I was actually expecting a lot more of its back. So I was expecting a super move to come out from its back when it's charging, but it was just I don't know if there is one and I didn't see it, but it was basically using its back things to electrify its surrounding areas. And it felt really tame of an attack. So I assume it's going to get harder in a higher rank and beyond. But otherwise, it was just get out of its way when it comes at you. It had its little like swipey paw that kept hitting me. So every time he like underwater, he just does this, kept hitting me with that. Finally, he started limping, and then he swam to his cave to go to sleep. And I was all like, oh yes, we're taking this home, because I made some traps. I gone out of the way to get some tranquilizer stuff, even crafted and everything. I was like, oh, this is in the bag, we're going there. And I was like already getting kind of like on edge because the fight still pushed me to a level of discomfort, let's say. It wasn't like Gigginox hard, but it was challenging. It was a good challenge considering the weapon and the armor I had and the skill level I have in this game. So I go to trap it, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, it's not an Elder Dragon. I can actually trap it. I set the trap down, and I go through the menu to like cast my tranquilizers, and boom, I'm back at camp. And I was like, what just happened? And when I was at Port Tanzia, the old lady was selling a Farcaster, and people were like, buy it. So I bought it because chat told me to. And I was like, yeah, it'll probably come in useful one day. And it was expensive. It was like 10% of my total income. And I wasted it on a stupid miss button. I don't even know what I did, because I was scrolling through my items and somehow that activated. And I was like, oh no, and everybody laughed at me. And then I had to go back. Lagiacrus was now awake, so I had to fight him again. And then there was no trapping. So Lagiacrus is done, the town is saved, but hey, there's still some earthquakes, so it's like, what's actually going on? The next monsters I have to fight, there's nothing new on my list. They're like, go kill or go capture a Lagiacrus again, or go fight any of the other monsters I've done so far. So I don't really know I have no idea what's next. Like, I always knew Lagiacrus was kind of my goal up to this point. Now I'm entering unknown territory again. I have to grind out some stuff, have to grind out some quests, some armor sets, some new weapons, and hopefully I can do that in multiplayer, and then I will find out what is next, because we're getting close to finishing or unlocking all of the I think I'm going to the volcano region next. Yeah, that's the last region I have to unlock, and we'll see what happens there. So it's been a good time. Hunts are going well. I really wish I had more items to get my armor and my weapons up, but otherwise the hunts are true blast. I'm really enjoying the old world here. So I'll see you in the next journal. If I do multiplayer, I'm not sure. Well, I don't know when the next journal is going to be. It's going to be either next week or the week after that. But otherwise, I will see you in the next stream or the next video I put up on this channel. And until next time, keep it classy. Do 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 do. Subscribe.